Alright, so I'm pretty happy with this sock that I crocheted, and I used 3 different threads. They're all three different yarns. They're thrift store yarns, so that's part of the reason. And so I didn't have much of this merino wool left, so I just had to I got it in there. What it's interesting to me is how it actually shows my pattern a little bit. I had most of the wool, most of the yarn with this. This is acrylic. It's very unique. And then, okay, acrylic, merino wool, and then this seems like more thread than anything. It's not very flexible compared to this other stuff. I think even the merino wool is a little more flexible than this yellow stuff. It's kind of flexible, at least. I want to build it up a little bit higher still. I'm not finished, but I'm happy with the results, mostly. So I started out with a square in the front. A lot of crocheters who make socks will suggest a circle, but my feet are wide, so I had to make up for that and do a rectangle square, a rectangle. It might have been a little too much on the corner. I could have had a little less, just a little less, but it's no big deal. It's roomy. So I did that all around, starting out with that rectangle, and then it just kind of naturally turns into a pouch. It turns into like a pouch. I might have reduced on the ends a little bit. Nothing on the sides, the front, the back, and it just turns naturally into a pouch. I actually no, I increased the sides a little bit when I didn't need to, because I thought it was curling in. That's the weird thing about this, is when you get to about this far, it starts curling in, and I got a little nervous about that, but I shouldn't have. I should have just worked through the curl, because eventually it'll straighten out. And you tug it, and you tug the curl out when you put it on. The curl is a little alarming when you're new to this, but I could work with it. So the bottom part, the heel, is maybe the hardest, and I took some advice off of videos on YouTube, and this time I just did one side going back for the heel, and then I ran out of yarn, so then I continued on with merino wool and up a little bit, and then I folded the end a little bit, and I had to reduce back here, folded the end a little bit, and then slip stitched just a little bit to join so you could see that. And then I just went back and forth for a little bit on the merino wool until I ran out. Then I tied on the yellow yarn and then continued to go back and forth. I went back and forth both sides, and this is up until I got to about here, and then started just going all around, and that's what I intend to do to finish it up. I did get some holes when I get up to back and forth. When I get to this edge, I find that I have to slip stitch a little bit extra, because it does get it's a little loose. I have to fit this every row. Every time I did a row, I had to fit it to see what I needed to do, and as I found I constantly needed to tighten and tighten. I fitted it all the way up. Every stage I fitted it up. I fitted it on my foot for comfort, just to see how it'll fit. And that's the best way I can do it. I can't go by patterns. I didn't do any extra stitches to mark spots. This is an art project. This isn't exactly a science project. All right, so this is about fitting, feeling what feels right. It's a lot different than what I did before, which I have the first one in here. This is a bumpy, crumply mess, but it fits. I can't really show exactly how I put it together like this one, but I messed up the front. You can see I got this mess in the front. It's a lumpy mess. I started out with a circle. That might show a little bit, but that made it a little more difficult, and I had some difficulty with that. It's kind of a mess in the front, but it fits overall. Oh yeah, I had to switch I switched 3 different yarns on this one too, but I did a very different pattern. Okay, I started out with this one, then I moved to this grayish, ran out. Well, actually, I don't think. Oh no, I probably did run out. And then I did a crazy thing. I did a chain all the way behind the heel. I did a chain. You can kind of see it. It's loose. It's just this loose mess. Usually when I make chains, I don't make them tight enough. I've been working on that. Chains are like the loosest part of everything. I did the chain. It's kind of low on the heel, and then just started working from that around the heel, and that's harder. I prefer doing this, going straight back on one side, than the chain. The chain is just too loose. The chain works. You gotta really, well, it kind of works. It fits. This thing fits though, at least. I didn't build up the top too high because I got ankle warmers. I don't want it to compete with too much. This is more of a night sock where I go to sleep with it, and in case it's 20 degrees out, I can keep my feet warm. But yeah, this is kind of a mess. And then I can further warm it up with this fleece sock. I can put it inside this fleece sock, and that's kind of a wind block in a way. So I like that. I want to make another fleece sock to cover this one, and then I'll have like that double protection. I wore the fleece and this crochet sock one night, one on each foot, and I definitely could tell the difference. The fleece is flimsy, it's old, it's thin anyway, but it's this yarn definitely keeps my foot warmer than the fleece. I noticed that difference in about 30-degree temperature. But now that I have this other one, I can put if it's cold enough, I'll put the fleece over this, and then that's extra warmth right there. So that's it. That's the project for foot protection against the cold.